Yeah, I'm doing alright, thanks, guys. Not doing bad. But guys, guess what? And to keep this PG, guess what I did for the first time this evening? Ah, right. The real answer is I ordered something on Deliveroo for the first ever time and used Deliveroo services, which is very bland and blasé. But for a guy that's never used them before, a weird FYI, I'm 28 and I've managed to go this long without using Deliveroo until now. It wasn't. It wasn't. I just ordered straight from Pizza Hut. Why do I need Deliveroo to get Pizza Hut? I did. I did. Yes. I think I don't go to Nando's that often, so it's not like a cheeky Nando's thing for me. Like, not that it ever was one. You just went to Nando's because you wanted, not because it was cheeky. Um, but yeah, I don't have it that often, so it's like a rare treat. And I'm just not eating it all day. I was like, do you know what? Sod it. I'm just gonna order Nando's off Deliveroo and see what happens and see what arrives. Always the boneless thighs. Mm. Oh, and how are you, Bowie? Before we get too far into this. I always what I liked about China was it was the one when I was younger, growing up watching F1. It's the one I'd sneak, get up early, sneak downstairs on a Sunday morning and watch it on the telly and just hope I didn't wake anybody up. Just because of the timing I did it, I was vividly, um, I've what was I going to do? I lost my train of thought there because I got reminded that I didn't turn my mic on. So really sorry about that, guys. About Hamilton's race in 2007 at China. That was what it was. I was going to say that's
Yeah,
always like an early memory of me when getting up and watching the F1 races early. I also remember
yeah.
doing of like the Asian ones. I remember watching the end of the 2005 Japanese Grand Prix, which if you were around at
Ah,
the time,
Raikkonen.
yes. Didn't watch. I didn't catch the start. I don't think I caught Alonso's pass on Schumacher around the 130R live, but I caught like the last 10 laps of it.
Yeah, I remember they were good. They were good days. Yeah, getting up early when you were younger. I always had to avoid certain steps on my stairs because I knew they creaked every time I was getting up to go downstairs. I'm definitely looking forward to tonight. It's also a track that can throw up rain, which is never fun, to be honest. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, to say the least. Got to keep the strong start to the season going. But as you can see, guys, on screen is the highlights of last week's race at Spain. So should we have a little rundown of what happened?
We shall, but do you want to share something else with them, Bowie? I've given them a bit of a teaser, but I've got something from yourself here. What is
You
this?
do. You do. This is my highlights of last week, and it was delightful. So here we can see, been in it in quali. Didn't hit the wall though, and didn't get damaged. But you know that was how my qualifying session went. Swinny, you can see you retired there. You were that confident at this point. You didn't make it out of Q2 though. Just saying. And then what happens next? I think what happens next is the worst start in the world versus the best start in the world right here. So we got Swinny on the left and me on the right, obviously starting one place apart. And we do not finish the lap one place apart, that's for sure. So it was definitely a very, very bad start from me. Um, Very good opportunistic attacking start from Swinny. I think you finished the lap P8, do you? And I'm
I do what you're about to see. What I ended up doing amazingly was I went from P11 to P8, overtaking all the cars in the top 10 who started on the soft tyre. And you went from P12 to about P16, I can see on the screen. So,
Oh, it gets
very.
worse. Tor gets me around the outside here.
Oh, yeah, just see that. What a lovely move by your teammate.
Yeah, well, I finished the race, he didn't. So, just kidding. Love you, Tor. So that wasn't a good start for me. Here we see a lovely move from Hartnell with a lovely battle with Wild Dog. I thought that was too good to not leave out. So, got to back the podcast boys here. Very good defensive driving from Kobe there as well, and a nice little switcheroo, as Crofty would say, from Hartnell there down the inside. And then it took me about another 8 laps to get past Wild Dog, so it wasn't that fun. But I think you get him round the outside of turn 4, is it?
That's a lovely move, Jay. I think you got that one sorted in the bag, yep.
Just a nice one there. And then I went for the alternate strategy. So I did 21 laps on the mediums, and then jumped Ricky in the pit. So I was up to P6. I've left this my safety car restart in on because that's the closest I've ever got to the Tier 1 champion, and probably the closest I'll ever get to him on track again. So I wanted to leave that in for you guys, just to let you know that I can occasionally battle with the big boys. And that's as good as it got, as you will see from the next clip, which wasn't fun. Swinny, do you want to talk us through this one?
Yeah, I mean, you've picked up how far up the grid you got and how excellent your strategy was trying to do a medium soft around Spain, which is a traditionally ridiculous hard thing to do. But any second now, you're going to see myself. Here we go. We're going to see Bowie lose 2 positions in a very short amount of time, and I, for one, am living for it.
I wasn't. But I mean, all I can say here is I kept Ricky and Swinny behind me for a good couple of laps, and they needed DRS, so they needed something that I didn't have to get past me. Okay, so I'll take the moral high ground. Really good move from Ricky there around the outside, tap him a little bit, and then I become a rookie at this point.
Yeah, just to confirm on that point with DRS, in my overtake on you, no DRS was required, just to clarify.
Hartnell, back me up.
I can't really do that, mate, because the evidence is right there. I'm sorry.
Damn it. But yeah, so Swinny and I were incredibly close last year in Tier 1, and we are currently a point apart after the standings of round 1 and 2. So obviously we both love to beat each other, so I thought I'd whack in a nice little overview. And I thought I'd put in that overtake of Hartnell just to kind of give you guys our perspective, which brings on to the next point that we'll trial as well. If anyone has any overtakes that they like, or any saves or any battles with drivers that they would want featured in the pod, then please message me after the race or a few days after, as long as I've got it by Monday, and I can put it in there just to kind of show our drivers a bit more, really.
And yeah, and just to get your 2 pence on Spain, because covered me about enough detail there, how was the race for you, Jay?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't an event. All about that sort of third sector, really. Sort of like the straight line was just non-existent. Sort of, if you had pretty good pace down the straight line, you would have got us. But I think it was, yeah, just non-eventful, but just solid. Be my roundup of it, really.
Yeah,
Not very exciting, I know.
No, that is fine. You know what was the greatest thing about it, which probably hasn't come up in either the sort of full stream of the race or in the highlights? Your four guys here, me, myself, Jay, and Pimis, who can't be with us tonight, we were close on track for a good number of laps.
We were, yeah.
Pretty much up until the first round of pit stops started happening. where we were all on mediums, and then I blinked first and went go for an undercut, which worked beautifully because I just got Jay when he came out the pit, so it was beautifully slotted in between, and then that was just when my race started to come alive. Now I went from the back of the queue to kind of the front of the queue. I had a great battle with Pimis for some time as well, and then caught Bowie at the end of the race. And as I got the provisional results, I think it ended up being the full results. P6 for me, P7 for Bowie. You rounding out the top 10, Jay. It was a good, successful race, I think, for the podcast boys.
It was
indeed. I must admit as well, Pimis put up an absolute stalwart of defence. Could not pass him at all. Fair enough. Some of it may or may not have been legal. It depends on what way you interpret the rules.
All I'm going to say is it's good that my stream quality was poor, because you can't see the amount of weaving that was happening. Because I was the car directly behind, but it was so fun to watch. I did nearly outbreak myself a few times watching you guys.
It was amazing how we just didn't touch. I put it down to just good racing. I trust Pimis. I'll go wheel to wheel with you guys and Pimis all day long. He's just one of those guys that you can always just go wheel to wheel with. But I think as he said afterwards, he took a leaf out of Max Verstappen's logbook, shall we say, and say, I didn't brake, I just moved twice.
He did also run out of fuel, didn't he?
He did, yeah. That was very unfortunate, wasn't it? Yeah, he did run out of fuel. I think it was like 4 laps towards the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the word you were looking for there was funny, not unfortunate.
I didn't want to be the one that said that.
I want to go as far as say as unlucky, because he did end up finishing P13.
Yeah.
But it was on the board.
It was a very good race, because also initially you guys were 1 stop in and I was 2 stop in, so I came out the pits behind you and had to try and catch up, and then the safety car came out that lap, so then you all pit anyway, so it kind of nullified that, and it turned into you guys chasing me down instead.
Yeah, I was worried because you ended up stretching medium, so you could have a soft stint on the end when we were all on hards. But then, because I think the safety car came out must have been like within 2 laps of you doing your pit stop, we all then put fresh softs on. Because yours are 2 laps old, you didn't see the point in losing all that track position to put another set of softs on, so you ended up being the sitting duck in the end.
Did indeed. It was definitely worth it, though. Should we go on to Tier 2?
Yes.
How did the Tier 2 boys get on?
Tier 2 results, I'm going to say they always put the provisional results up, but I do think, I must admit actually on a side note, for stewarding this week, this has been one of the best weeks I can remember in terms of the lack of incidents, see good clean racing across the whole server, so thank you everyone for your driving conduct last week, and please keep it up. I do like the easy life as a steward.
100%.
I must admit, I haven't watched the stream from Tier 2 or a driver's perspective, but from what I can gather, it was quite an entertaining race, sort of looking through their chats and what have you. Which is only a positive aspect. Obviously, Tier 1 was quite entertaining, sort of like the battles through the midfield and what have you. It's only good to see, sort of like Tier 2 having a great battle, sort of like from first, I think it was down to about 8th or 9th. I think they were battling through, so it's only a good thing.
Yeah, it was just a shame to see the demise of Fake Scousel was a bit exaggerated because he got a P3 out of that race, but you know, fingers crossed it doesn't go as well tonight.
We could all hope. We've all got our
China.
fingers crossed. he does. He's very quick around China. So now, Jack, you're not too bad around China as well. I remember, what was it? It was a few weeks ago, wasn't it? In a different league, and you've done alright around China as well.
It was Cone Tier 2.
Yeah, you've done very well.
I think I got into Q3, and I think I finished in the top 6 or 7.
You're very quick.
I started 5th in hedge racing a few weeks ago there as well, actually, and finished. Well, I didn't finish. I crashed after 4 laps, but the qualifying pace was there. So I've had two races. One's good, one's bad. So I don't know what this one will be.
Fingers crossed for a repeat tonight.
I like how you've left the repeat of what to be up to interpretation there.
Well, I was gonna say I'm a fan of China because China was where my Tier 2 championship winning season kind of got started, because that's where I got my first podium. It's also the first track because I had a mare in quality to go, do you know what? I'm gonna try hard medium and see how it works out. And yeah, I think I went from P14 to P2 that day. So, well,
You did. I remember that race quite well because you done an absolute amazing overtake on myself into turn one. You just literally went up the inside. It was clean as you like, but it was absolutely sensational. I was not expecting it. I thought I covered you on the inside, but you just managed to find
yeah,
a
because
route
I
down.
don't remember there being that many overtakes in that race. I just remember the strat taking me a
wasn't,
long, long
yeah.
way, but I'll take the compliments as they come, so thank you very much.
Because it was, I think it was Jamie, wasn't it? Jamie was in fourth or fifth, I think, in that race.
He was, and I remember as well. Carlos
Mm,
Killer had a good race
it
then
was,
as well.
yeah.
I think they got on the podium, if I remember correctly.
Mm.
And then look where we all are, guys, all in Tier 1 now, along with Bowie. We've made it eventually.
Yeah, we got there
Yeah.
eventually, yeah. Some of us quicker than others, but
Alright, then bear with me, guys.
Well, I kept moaning at Bruce about getting into Tier 1. I think I finished 4th in Tier 2 2 years in a row, and I was like, go on, Bruce, just do it. Just, please. And then regretted it after the first couple of races and realised how fast everyone was.
it's the only way you get better, though.
Yeah,
The only
definitely.
secret, guys.
Finished in the top 8 in both my seasons, though, in Tier 1. Consistency.
Not bad
And
going, mate.
a lot of people missing races, but we'll miss that part out.
Indeed. Now, bear with me. What I'm just going to do is put what the championship standings are after that race and how that impacted everything. I need to do a bit of a jiggling out of all my graphics, but bear with me. We'll be there in no time. And I think we've got everything in place now.
Nice.
Yes, we are there. So yeah, there we go.
Nice.
Small is taking a commanding lead in Tier 1, which is, I think, there or thereabouts what everybody expected.
I am shocked.
I know, Jay, P5 in the championship standings. They're talking about how quiet your race in Spain was. You're quietly going about the standings as well.
No, people always say that. It was I'd done a race on Friday and I won in Spain, and nobody had me down for winning in Spain at all. And I got called the Valtteri Bottas of league racing because I just literally just do it very quietly and nobody knows that I'm around.
I remember the first time I spoke to you,
I
I called
didn't
you
know
the...
whether that was hurtful or not. I was like, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
Yeah, I remember we
working
used to
out.
compare you to Hulkenberg, the Hulkenberg of league racing.
I always used to come fourth or fifth. I could never quite get on the podium.
Yeah.
It's got me thinking now, who's Bowie like in terms of the F1 driver of racing? Got me thinking that.
Oh, there could be a few. I mean, I'm fit, so that brings in probably... I could be the Charles Leclerc, maybe.
I was going to go with a George Russell, mate. I'm sure you got a torso underneath there. That's
I'm 5'7", he's 6'6". I'm nothing like Russell.
It's all right, mate. We can put you in a plant pot and put in a bit
Yeah,
of miracle
give me
grow
some
and see how
stilts. Give me some
it goes.
stilts and I'll be there.
I'm exactly the same as you. I'm not exactly the tallest person in the world. I'm only 5'9", so...
I don't know who I'd be, actually. Let us know, guys, in the comments. I see we got links.
Wait, have you ever had an
Scenario.
Have you ever had an F1 FRL podium?
Me?
Yes, you have, yeah. Yeah, you've had plenty.
I think it is Bowie. But
I've had a few.
A few now. I just think, who's that sort of plucky driver that's had a few podiums but never really actually that good?
It's probably
Nick
me you're thinking
Heidfeld.
of, mate. Yeah.
Nick Heidfeld, what a shout.
I'm the Heidfeld, yeah. Yeah, I've had a few. I think I've had like 5 or 6 podiums. and two of
Yeah.
them have been that I finished off the podium but didn't have penalties. So
Still make consistency.
yeah,
That's what it's all about.
it's funny would be Carlos Sainz just because of the hair. It's a little bit similar.
On the hair, actually, thinking about that, on my streams, if anyone's sad enough to watch my streams, I've been digging through a few boxes because I've been moving around my room for when my wheel rig setup will finally get sorted. I found my ring light, so I think face cam's coming back tonight. So you can watch Bowie's pretty face or my pretty face. You have a choice tonight, guys.
Ooh, I don't have a ring
Oh
light.
no! Does that mean when I watch either one of you two streams during Realistic, I have to see one of your two faces?
I mean, don't
Or
sound
both if you have two
disappointed.
tabs open.
Oh no! Yeah, I see Jack's obviously with yours, but I don't see yours.
All
Oh
we
God.
need now is for you to be in the
No.
party with us and stream with your camera on, so we got the possible communication with the pitbull, trying to survive on Twitch.
Oh dear! I don't think anybody wants to see that.
Well, if we have a bad race, they probably will for your reaction.
Yeah, I must admit, your dinner, my reaction was quite priceless.
Oh God, what did you do?
It's just like the
Typical
phone went
Bowie.
across the phone went across the room at one point. I was like, for God's sakes, I thought we saved it. What an absolute moron! Just threw it.
I'm pretty sure he subsidised moron for a few other words that you actually used.
That was. I was like, yes, man, yeah, that was, yeah. Considering how consistent you two guys are, it was just, yeah. I was like, ugh.
It was the one race where I was consistently faster than you, Swinny, as well. Like, I don't normally get that. It's a very few tracks.
I was very happy with my Japan performance because I was not fast for the entire time I was on that track from Q1. I came out with a P2, but that is what I think, committing to clean racing and perseverance and just knowing when's the right time to pit and the right strat call, and that's just all the part where it helps.
I think it's going to be exactly the same around China, isn't it? I think strategy is going to be a major factor in this race tonight, I think.
I think China, ticks a lot of boxes for what I want to see in an esports race because you've got a mixture of strategies because one stop or two stop are both are very viable. You then have the mixture of weather, as has been touched on as well. It's a good chance it will rain in China. And you also have the fact, because it's not on a career mode, it is a track which people don't practice that much, so you kind of get more mistakes in there. So then it rewards the consistent drivers better because they'll find out very quickly just from their Q1 run where the limit is, and then they'll stick to that for the entire race.
All true statements.
Couldn't agree more with that.
Yeah, I just hate the S's. I think after the hairpin for Sector 1, that's where I crashed. I should have sent you the clip for this, Vinny, to show everyone, because I'm still baffled how I crashed. So, you got the Sector 1 split, and you got the hairpin, and as you're going up the hill, I wheel span about 100 metres after the corner in 4th gear, and ended up with the wheel off in the barrier.
Sounds like a lack of talent there, mate.
Thanks. I'm glad I didn't send it to you.
Nah, I must admit, there's only one place I really struggle with in China, and that is literally, I think it's turn 17 as you go down onto that onto the straight.
Oh, the bank right-hander for that.
Yes.
No, I agree because sometimes it's more of a you always want to get a good launch out of the banking, so you'll put your overtake on, but you'll put your overtake on whilst you're still turning quite aggressively, and the rear can sometimes overtake the front. So it's just being patient, it's just being patient and knowing when to go on the overtake. But I'm exactly the same as you. That's kind of my only sticking point with this track. I'll go to think, right, I've got to run and press overtake. I've done it too early. I'm facing the wrong way. It doesn't normally mean a crash because it's quite a wide circuit because it's a modern track, so you can kind of get away with spins a lot at China. Not all the time. It's either you survive it or you get a spectacular crash, or you're like Bowie and you just have neither.
It is. It's also that last turn, isn't it? As you come onto the pit lane straight, it's if you get that little I can't remember what turn is that. It's turn
90?
20
Could be
or
20.
it could be 20. If you literally clip that curb on the left hand side, it can quite easily throw the bottom end, and you're there spinning. And obviously the pit wall's literally right next to it, isn't it? So I say that's probably quite a common DNF area, isn't it? If you are going to DNF,
It's a dangerous curve. If it's one that's going to guarantee a safety
yeah,
car, it's that corner there. Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely. I hate those corners. I think I've not driven controller on pad in a while, but I prefer the wheel for that sweeping right hander onto the back straight as opposed to controller. It's so hard to get your line right, I feel.
I will keep you updated, as and when my wheel set, is up and ready and going.
but
Oh,
also
you're going to
say,
give us a good comparison actually now, because you've just got a wheel.
I'll also say it's very easy if you're on wheel to get on that throttle too early on that right hander as well.
Yeah, that's
Very
what I
easy
found.
to do that.
Yeah, because I actually have got my wheel, so I have had some practice, guys. The problem is, I do not possess a table which I can clamp my wheel to, or apart from ones where they've got legs which obstruct my feet getting to the pedals. So
There you go, guys. We'll set up just a donate page tonight just for Michael so that he can.
I'm not going to plead poverty, but I actually at the same time do, because I have already gone all out and bought a proper sim racing cockpit, because I've gone solid, so I'm just going to get all the equipment for it. So
Yeah, it's the best way to go. Yeah.
All the gear, no idea. What?
Oh dear.
I've been waiting for that.
So no, I reckon Michael, you'd be alright in transition. I think you'd be absolutely
yeah.
fine. You
I'm just
There
doing my
won't be too
talking on
many
the
issues.
trap. That's all I'm going to say. For that comment, Bowie. I'm going to remember that comment, Bowie. Do you know what might happen? If I beat you comfortably tonight, or if I, finish the race and you crash embarrassingly, we're playing that clip at the start of next week's pod.
Well, we've got Well, yeah, that's one for you, Lewis, to be here. I think you're in the stream tonight. You're gonna have to watch for the battle with Swinny and myself, who is debutising on comms tonight for us in place of Alpha. So,
Yes,
good luck
I'm
to you,
done.
my friend.
Yeah, unfortunately, I lose a teammate, but I'm looking forward to Lewis's commentary tonight. It's nice to have someone different, if you know what I mean. Obviously, we've had Tom Cairns, we've had Alpha, and now obviously we've got Lewis. So
Yeah, and it's good to know that we can have people that are.
yeah, I think it's just it's nice to see the way that they all do it. Tom Cairns was very much, I wouldn't say so, sort of like Crofty like, but he reminds me of that kind of stature. Whereas Alpha is a bit more animated and a bit more sort of vocal. So it'd be interesting to see what Bruce brings to the party.
Definitely, especially as different styles is always good. But it's also good to know that obviously with Alpha and his work schedule, that if he can't make a race, then we've got someone of equal quality that can just step in and wants to do the comms, which is really fantastic as well.
Obviously, no one will compete with me and Jamie when we done comms because I was just carnage but amazing.
Was there alcohol involved?
No, that wasn't it. It was just I think there was a lot of swearing involved. That could have happened. But,
I've thought of a great idea, guys. We need to do like
Go on.
a commentary drinking game where we'll commentate on a race, and if certain things happen, you've got to do a drink from every time. We'll think of some rules.
oh god.
if Kobe runs out of VRS for Fallout 2, that's an easy shot for everyone.
What the rule will be, after lap 2, whatever percentage of ERS Kobe is on, that's how much of your drink you have to have left, and you need to just keep on drinking from a full can down to that. So if it's got 5% ERS, you've got to drink 95% of your drink.
This could be a long day.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be so
How many of
class.
us do have work on a Monday?
Not anymore, I don't. I'm booking a day. quite a few rules that we could definitely implement. I mean,
We,
nice lap Kevin count.
if you're worried about work and you want to do a big drinking game, we will just do it for 100% on a Saturday night.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. Saying that, we could do it exactly the same way. You know, like Brundle Bingo.
Mm-hmm.
We could technically do it that way. How many times is Kobe going to say, nice lap, Kevin? Or how many times that Kobe runs out of ERS? Or who crashes quite a lot? Me, at the moment. Yeah, how many times do I crash?
That's it.
How many times Timus makes weird noises? Because he makes a lot of weird
Yeah, exactly.
noises.
Yeah, we could all do it that way.
No, it's just
Ah,
drink every time a penalty comes up on screen.
Unfortunately, if you're watching Jamie though, it's not going to happen very often, is it? That's the only problem.
No, it would be a pretty boring one for that. That's a good point. Good point. Right then.
We'd have to follow someone else.
Right, China tonight, guys. What are your thoughts and predictions? Let me just get the lineups again on stream so we've got a good barometer of who will or won't be there or thereabouts.
Okay, I'll start us off then. I will go with. What do you want me to start with? Tier 1 or Tier 2?
I think we went with Tier 2 first last week, so we'll go Tier 1 this week first.
Tier 1 this week, okay. Just from seeing the check-ins, unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you look at it, I have noticed that the one that's left the server, well, not left the server, but is supposed to be taking a back seat in FRL, is Mr. Dixon has checked in. So I'm going to hazard a guess that there is going to be some rain involved, whether it's quali or the race. So I'm going to go with Dixon. Is going to be on P1. P2, I'm going to go with Carlos Killer, just because how quick he has ran his place from the last few seasons. And P3 is going to be, you can't rule out Ricky, can you? Ricky's always going to be there. So Ricky Republic for that P3. And exactly the same as last week. Unfortunately, gents, I cannot decide. I know that I decided between you last week. I've done it in very controversial fashion. But I cannot decide between. I think you two.
If it helps, you were right because you went with me and I beat Bowie on
did.
Tuesday and I beat him in realistic as well. So just to help you.
I did go with you. Just full of
beat
balance.
me for 3 laps in realistic. Michael.
just full of balance. Just full of balance. All right, Jack, you're going to be my wild card for tonight. Just full of balance.
I like it. I won't let you down. Well, I mean, I might, but yeah. I'm quite scared for the race tonight because I have also noticed that we have Don Arjun in the McLaren and Leppy in the Mercedes. So, wait, that's a lie. I was looking at last week's.
Is Dolly in the McLaren? I was going to say.
Ignore me completely. I was looking at Spain's check-in. Right. That's why I was going to predict Don Arjun to be in the top 3.
With that awareness, I rate your prediction there, Hartnell.
Yeah, I'm slightly regretting it now.
Minor details. I am going to go with. I'm going to go Smalley P1, Ricky P2, and Dixon P3. With this is going to be tricky now. I'm going to say Carlos as my wild card.
Okay. I don't know if it's just you guys have not seen the reserves or whether you feel like they're going to be putting in a bit of a repeat of what they've been like past few races, but Crossfire is racing tonight. And is this the one where they get to the end of the race? I'm going to go Crossfire, Smalley, Dixon, and Sadistic, my wild card.
Ooh.
Yeah, Sadistic. That is a very good shout, that one. Very good. And I've
The
also,
thing is now we've got so many good drivers in Tier 1. Like, it's very hard to call, isn't it?
I've also noticed just now, being in the practice session for China, that after a long time, Jamie always said that he would not change his name. He is now known as FRL Sadistic.
He is.
Hmm. He has been converted.
We are a persuasive.
Yeah, I've been
bunch.
questioned. How do I change my name as well? How do you do that?
You pay PlayStation £8, or you create another account.
Unless you haven't done it previously. If you've changed it once before, then it's free. But if you haven't,
Oh, I've never changed it before.
You
There
will
you
get
go.
it free then, yeah.
You will get it free.
Yeah, FRL JB Bowie 95 will be coming up soon. Or any other name. Should we do a vote? Actually, no, that's going to backfire. That was a stupid idea.
I'm going straight into the chat immediately.
We don't know what the options are yet.
Ah,
Well,
Right.
saying that, is who got everyone in the chat tonight? After the last time.
that was just a personal stream, I think. But yeah, we'll keep an update on that. Tier 2 guys, by the way, what are your predictions for that?
Yeah, go on, Jack. I'll let you fire away first on that one.
Okay. Fate Scouts for the win. Becco P2 and Daz Parker P3 with Twisted Science as my wildcard.
Yeah, that's a good call. You can't really deny fake Scouser, can you? I'm going to go with the opposite way round, I think.
You just denied Fake Scouser.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Just because I know, obviously, he is pretty prone to a few spins or a few
Outbreaking maneuvers.
yeah, should we say. So I'm going to go with Twisted Science. I think Twisted Science is going to be P1 with Fake Scouser in second. Followed by, I think Moody's quite quick around here. So I want to go with Moody with my wild card being... Yeah, I can't deny it. Yeah, Daz Parker. He's just always going to be there or thereabouts. So, yeah, Daz Parker as the wild card.
Nice. What about you, Swinny?
We will go with Scenario 7 to win. People will think I'm being biased because he's a Forest fan, and you guys are correct. I'll then go Becco P2.
I hear ya.
Daz Parker P3. And my reserve, I've noticed that Cookie is racing, and now I remember Cookie being one of the excellent drivers from Super Sunday Tier 2 who's reserving tonight. So I'm going to go Cookie as my wild card.
That is a very good shout.
Cookie's a very good driver.
Right then, now I think that is everything we've got sorted FRL wise, but guys, elephant in the room, there is a new season of real life Formula 1 starting this week. But more importantly than that, what we didn't tell you at the start is Jay Harnell is currently doing this podcast from his ceiling because he hasn't left there yet since Kevin Magnussen has been announced that he's returning for Haas.
I did tell you guys last week, did you both bring your spatulas?
I just know I didn't go to
Break
the
me
bookies,
off.
mate.
What can we say? I don't know how many of the guys that are listening have Sky. I watched testing because unfortunately I'm still resting my leg from ankle operation. But Ted Kravitz put it exactly the way that I wanted to put it last week. Ted Kravitz interviewed Kevin Magnussen and said, I'm literally a fanboy looking at you. I cannot believe you're back. I'm so happy. You're just a genuine racer. You race hard. Yeah, fair enough. Sometimes not always fair. But it's just so great to have him back on the grid. I think it's, for Haas anyway, I think it's just going to energise them.
Definitely, 100%, mate. I've been over the moon about it. I've been watching a bit of testing, and yeah, he just looks so at home being back behind the wheel of an F1 car.
Yeah, yeah. I you definitely missed it. You got to think about, yeah, fair enough. It's all well and good doing sports cars and IndyCar, but always that pinnacle is always going to be F1, isn't it?
I did see a jokey tweet from the Gunter Steiner Twitter account saying, sack Magnussen to get Mazepin's money, sack Mazepin with with his money and get back Magnussen a year later.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Yeah, get obviously the old Uralkali money,
Yeah.
develop the car, and then get Magnussen back in. Yeah, I saw that as well. Yeah. Dear. But no, in terms of testing, you've got to admit, I can't see past the Red Bull at the moment. I think Red Bull looks
I think it's going to be, for me, probably
about car.
Ferrari. Worth noting, actually, little side note for my own personal channel. There will be a video out tomorrow called All Things Single Seater, which we have a Bahrain pre-season review on. So check that out. But one of the things we mentioned on there, actually, do we have time? Still got about 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
You got
5
about
minutes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so little game for us all. So each team, we have to pick which teammate will win the qualifying battle this year and finish higher in the standings.
Yep.
That's tough.
There are a few easy ones in there, I think.
Right.
But, I mean,
Yeah, great game that is. Yeah. Okay.
should we start?
Right.
Should we go Red Bulls to start with?
Right, who's noting this down? Just to
Right.
see how.
I will get a dock open and I will keep this safe and secure on my PC.
Nice.
Do you know what? I've opened the Word doc. Excel is my friend. I'm going to do Excel instead.
And see how accurate we are.
I've got to remember what I said on the recording before the video goes out.
No, don't just contradict yourself, mate. Everyone will be fine with that.
I've just said the opposite, so I've got video proof that I've done it on both.
You ignore me typing away. Actually, I'm going to mute my mic and you two can talk through predictions. I'll keep cracking with this.
Okay, so Mercedes. We'll go Red Bull to begin with.
Go on, Jack. I'll let you fire away first.
I think this one's probably the easiest, but I'm going to go Max for both, for quali battle and points.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to disagree, isn't it? I think, yeah, Max qualifying and then race points. Sergio's great, but he's just the ultimate wingman, isn't he? He's like Bottas. He's just always going to play the team game, I think. So, yeah, I completely agree with you on that front. I think that was nice and easy.
Nice.
Now we go into the hard. Now we go into the hard one. Come on, Michael. What do you think?
Bear with me as well. I might just put this on the stream, so as well as saving it, I'll have stream proof of what these predictions are going to be.
Oh, I like it.
And see how wrong we are at the end of it.
Absolutely. 1 second. If I just change that.
I don't think we'd be wrong on that one. I think that one's pretty much a shoe-in.
A shoey? No, we're not on McLaren yet, mate.
Not quite yet. So this is going to take some doing for me to sort out that. So you have to bear with me a bit longer. If I hide everything.
There we go. Too late. We already saw it, mate.
Right, here we are.
Nice.
Yeah, that looks good.
Right, this is going to be on the record for a while. I know to myself, I can't see Perez getting the better of Max again. I think more generally, I think Red Bull are in a very good place. I think worst case scenario, like Ferrari are better than them and Mercedes have been sandbagging. So worst case scenario for me is that Red Bull are the third fastest team. And even if they are the third fastest team, Adrian Newey will come up with an idea in the development race to get to the front, and it'll just be at what point in the season that happens if it's not at race 1. So I'm actually finding it hard to look past Red Bull for the drivers and constructors as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'd agree.
Nice.
Mercedes. So I'm going with Lewis on both,
Oh, you brave man.
only
Brave.
because I think Lewis still will have that one lap pace over George, even though George's is great. But I'm also expecting a few George mistakes this year during the race, so I think Lewis will edge him on points as well.
And you see, yet again, I disagree. I think one lap. I can't see past George Russell. Just on one lap pace. I just think he's been given this opportunity. No way is he gonna throw it away. So I just think he's gonna absolutely launch everything that he's got towards Lewis
Into
because
it.
he knows that Lewis is gonna be what 2 3 years maximum 3 years. Lewis is gone. He's gonna be leading that team. So I think he has to literally prove that he can lead that team and beat Lewis. So I'm going with
Yeah.
Georgia. One lap pace. But I would agree with you over a race distance. Lewis, just too consistent, too quick. And I agree. I think George makes one too many mistakes throughout sort of like a 50, 60 lap race. So, yeah, it's hard to look past Lewis on that front.
See, I'm with you, Jay, on the quality. I think Russell will start more races in front of him. Because okay, I mean, it was down to the fact a lot of the time because Max was very good, but I think Lewis only got 3 poles last season, which for how many poles he's got is really low. I can't tell if his quality pace is on the way down and he's just still going to be the like perfect racer. I can't tell who I'm going to think is going to finish on more points. It would be a shock if it was Russell, but he's such a talented guy, it might happen. I'm gonna just no, I'm gonna go Lewis because Mercedes could be sandbagging and he could be doing it right. I'm gonna say the same as you, Jay. Ferrari now, probably the two closest drivers in inter-team. We're talking here.
Yeah, I'm not leading with this one.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Leclerc for both.
Ooh.
Which I think is probably against the grain because people have been looking at testing, thinking, especially after how well he did last year and how well he's doing in testing. People, I think, Sainz is in the ascendancy, but I think Leclerc is a better racer. I think that will shine through. When Ferrari had a good car, which was last in 2019, Leclerc got the most pole positions out of anyone else on the grid. So I'm just putting all my eggs in the Leclerc basket.
Okay, all right, I'll follow up with that. I'm going to go with Sainz for qualifying, just purely on Charles Leclerc is very prone to a mistake. You look at Baku, you look at Monaco, and well, so is Carlos Sainz, but it may only be on a Friday though. I think that Sainz has crashed out on, so I'm going to go with Sainz on a qualifying day. But yeah, I've got to agree with you on a race day. I think Leclerc's the better racer, so I think it will come out on top.
I'm going Leclerc quali signs points.
Oh,
I think Leclerc's
oh no.
faster on one lap, but
Hmm.
I think Sainz has got a contract to fight for this year. Obviously, he's up at the end of the season. He's probably dead set going to be extended anyway. But if Mick's having a good year, Sainz knows he's got to have a good year.
Yeah, I'm sure he's already in talks for a new contract sign. So I think as long as he's basically around Leclerc's pace going at the start of the season, I think that'll be a done deal before we even get back to Europe. Spanish
Yeah.
Grand Prix, new contract for Sainz. Heard it here first.
Oh,
It's
we're
good.
predicting
So
everything.
that leads us on to McLaren, another difficult one. McLaren.
I have
I'm not
thoughts.
sure I want it.
Okay, I'll go because I'm going to go. I'm going to go Lando Norris for both of them. Not because I'm going to expect it to be a copy and paste from last year. I'm kind of going to go, and this might be me being a bit cynical here as well. I think based on Ricardo's preseason struggles, obviously having COVID and missing all the preseason testing, I think the first half of the season could be quite Lando dominant, and then the second half will be quite even. But because of the dominant first half of the season, Lando will stick ahead. So might So I think for different reasons, it might turn out very much like last season in terms of the trajectory of the gap between the two of them.
Yeah, it's hard to not disagree with that. Missing testing is definitely going to have an effect. But
Yeah, I
saying
would
that though,
agree.
the amount of running that McLaren had with the brake ducts, is that something really you can sort out in the space of a week?
They'll
You
be
wouldn't pull it
fine.
past F1 teams, yeah.
They'll be
You
fine
wouldn't
because
pull it
one,
past
clever
them, but
engineering, and secondly, the race is in the night. And it was only
yeah.
because they were doing their day running in Bahrain in the searing heat they couldn't do it.
But yeah, I'd have to agree with you. Just based on testing and just based on he's going to be a world champion at some point. He's going to be fighting with Russell at some point, and that's the new generation. So I want to go with Lando for qualifying in the race. Can't see past that.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you guys on that one. As much as it kills me, I think Norris is just that good.
There you go. Right. Alpine, guys. Who else is on the Alpine hype train?
I think I predicted Fernando for both. And I know that's brave, but
It's not brave because I
whose
agree.
confidence about this car?
Do you really?
Jay was going to say Ocon, wasn't he?
I was. I know Ocon's got a longer contract than what Fernando does, but I just think if you're going up against Fernando Alonso, you've got a point to prove, haven't you? You've got to be in. Being a Frenchman in a French team, I think you've got to lead that team. I think he needs to step up this year. And yes, he won at Hungary last year. So I think maybe it's time for Esteban just to go, right, I'm going to be the leader in his team. Step forward. So I'm having Esteban down for both, I think.
Okay.
I like
Lewis
it.
the Beaker saying Ocon for quali, Alonso in the standings. That's also a very good shout, to be
That's
fair.
a fair one because, yeah, I think someone imagine Alonso being a teammate outscoring your teammate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, he's never been outscored because Lewis finished ahead of him in the standings, but they both ended up on 107, so he's never been outscored.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm just looking at four of the next 5 teams. I think I know everyone's answer for.
Really? Okay. So AlphaTauri,
All right.
who thinks no for anything? Because I think this could be a fairly Gasly dominant one again.
This has got to be a Gasly dominant one.
Yeah, it's a Gazman, isn't it? It's Gazman all the way. Yeah,
Good
Gazman
lads.
quali and Gazman races all day long.
All right.
I don't think that's too hard.
And Aston Martin then, is this a Vettel?
I'm going
Around.
a set
Vettel.
both, yeah.
Yeah, Vettel all day
Do I
long.
do anything different here? Because I can't tell. Is Vettel on the way down? I might go. I'm going to go Stroll quali Vettel races, but you guys are Vettel.
Stroll's very quick. Stroll's very quick on one lap pace, actually. I will give you that, but I am going to go Vettel for both.
Yeah, Vettel. Yeah, I would go Vettel for both. I just don't necessarily agree with Stroll, just obviously how he's got into it. So
Yeah.
I'm not a great fan of Stroll.
This is the hard one now, I think, Williams.
Really? I thought that would have been nailed on.
Oh, go on then. Who are you? Who have you got on, Jay? Because I'm the same as Bowie. I'm a bit unsure on this one.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm Albon. Albon's going to qualify Latifi,
Albonneau.
and he's also going to outscore him in race pace. Just because obviously his experience from Red Bull, I think that experience you cannot buy. I think it's just too much for Latifi to cope with.
Albon bought it with the sponsorship money, but I mean, we'll gloss over that.
I'm going to go Albon to out-qualify, Latifi to outscore. I don't know why, I just think it's going to be close.
I think it's going to be close, and I think I went the other way. Only because Albon got close with Max, but Latifi was very close to George at the end of last season in quali. That it wasn't quite always the 4 or 5 tenth gap. It was down to like half a tenth at a lot of tracks, and he did out-qualify George at Abu Dhabi.
This is the constructor, I think, Williams, where there is not maybe Ferrari as well, but I feel like Ferrari support Leclerc more. Williams is one where there's no clear team leader between the two drivers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
Alpha for me, it's got to be VB, isn't it? I think for both.
Bottas for quali, because the fact he managed to beat quali, out-qualified Lewis on a handful of occasions for any driver is an exceptional qualifying talent.
So over one lap, definitely. Yeah, it's got to be VB, isn't it?
And I think for me,
Can't look behind that.
Can I see Bottas getting beat by a rookie throughout the season? No, so I'm going to go Bottas to finish with more points as well.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with that. I just think his experience,
And that leaves just Haas. So right, we're putting K-Mag for both of them for you, Jay, because I'd be annoyed.
Yeah, I don't
and
need to say anything in this,
if
do
it
I?
wasn't. But
Yeah. I don't need to say anything for this one. It's quite easy.
I'm also going K-Mag for both, just because of Schumacher's history of not picking up new rule changes that quickly. And I think K-Mag is actually that good.
Of course he is, mate.
Yeah, I'm actually stuck on this one because let's say a year out of F1 coming into brand new cars does take time to get up to speed. I'm thinking if you look at the first half of Ocon in 2020, I'm thinking could he have that sort of start? Well, I don't think he was that great to start with, but got up to speed later on.
You've got to remember that Kevin Magnussen is so much better than Ocon. Just remember that.
Also, Magnussen was actively racing as well, I think. He's been actively racing this year. He's got some podiums and some wins over the last 12 months.
Yeah, Chip Ganassi. I told you I'm a K-Mag enthusiast. Chip Ganassi Racing, yes, he's been fighting for wins. And you've also got to remember the 2 races that he reserved for Rosenqvist in IndyCar, he actually led as well in IndyCar.
Do you know what? Your passion for K-Mag, I'm here for it, Jay. So I'm putting K-Mag for both of them. I think it'll be close between the two, closer than we think. But I think that's more because I think Mick will be better than everyone thinks. Not K-Mag is struggling after a year away from it. I don't think I don't say it'll be close to deny anything on K-Mag. I think Mick will surprise me because I get people because it's a brand new formula. And his first year in new formula is not quite up to speed, and basically it's a new formula because it's brand new cars. I think because he knows his engineers and drivers in that network of people within the hats, I think they're all learning at the same speed across the entire grid. So I don't think we'll go, it's a new car, he'll struggle straight away. They're all discovering it at the same time. So I'm just saying it's a second season with their team, he'll be fine.
No, that makes sense. And
let's see, Lewis and Beaker's predictions. He thinks Ocon will out-qualify Alonso to outscore. Gasly, pound for pound, top 5 drivers on the grid. You know what? I'm with you on that. I think Gasly's a real untapped talent in F1. Vettel eats Stroll for lunch. Albon overrated. I do agree with you, actually. I do think Albon is a tad overrated. But that's what I'm saying. We'll see if he'll outscore him over a season. And, you get no points for quali. Bottas is the porridge goat indeed. Schumacher to out-qualify K-Mag to have more points at the end of the season.
Who said out-qualifying? Who said that?
Lewis the Beaker, mate.
Right, your commentator for tonight is saying that, and your ex-teammate. Right, with that, we're ready up in 12 minutes, lads. I think we'll have to call it there. We've got these predictions sorted out. We'll check them when we get towards the end of the season. But
perfect. Yeah, that works for me.
Yes, thank you.
Cheers, guys. Yeah, it's been a pleasure as every week.
Again, hours absolutely flown by. It's been brilliant as ever, guys. We'll be here next week, and we'll be playing that clip of Bowie slagging me off at the start because I'm going to finish ahead of him. I can't remember what it was, but I'm going to remember now anyway. Take care, guys, and we'll see you next week. All the best for your racing tonight. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Good luck out for our team.